It's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Whatever the clip was that they were taking out of context, there's actually a really reasonable explanation that the vast majority of conservatives are going to agree. Charlie was a conservative. He didn't expect progressives to agree with his opinions, but to take them and then bastardize them and corrupt them and spin them so that you could sort of somehow say Charlie deserved what came to him is a gross misjustice, because Charlie, and I spent so much time with him in private, was truly one of the most remarkably kind, generous, loyal, and just decent human beings you would ever meet. Loyal to a fault, generous to a fault, patient to a fault. And I mean, really, he exemplified the Christian ethic in private and in public, and he lived those values truly. And so to see people malign him because he was confronting lies when he was so public about it, and he took those slings and arrows for so many of us, it really just frustrates me. And I felt the moral obligation as his friend to have his back and to set the record straight. Whatever the clip was that they were taking out of context, there's actually a really reasonable explanation.
These are Charlie's friends. I'm on the fence about this. Charlie, I better choose my words wisely, but he was still a human being. He did not deserve to go out the way he did. And I just want to say that people, have more sympathy for others. This is a message, and it's not for the Charlie Kirk supporters. Oh no, it is for the Charlie Kirk supporters. It's not for the people who don't dislike him or who dislike him. The people who do dislike Charlie Kirk, have more sympathy for people. This is for the message. This is for Charlie Kirk supporters. Have more sympathy for others, because your words are powerful. So don't say some shit that you can't stand behind. Because just yesterday, a woman died in Texas because when I guess a lady held the door open for her and she didn't say thank you. She didn't say thank you, and they got into an altercation, and one lady was shot and killed, like an older lady was shot and killed by a younger lady. Choose all your words wisely. Have sympathy for people. Be thankful, and stop being just rude. And that's kind of why people don't like Charlie Kirk, because he was a rude individual. He might have been a great person to his friends, but words are powerful. So, I mean, it's just like being from the streets. I had friends that weren't good people, but they were my friends, and they were good to me. But they may have harassed and done bad things to other people. That's a kind of how it is. We overlook the worst shit that people could be because they are friends, but we don't even think that, man, you might need to just leave these people alone. But we're gonna get into the rest of it.
Guys, many of y'all know me, and I am not a conspiracy theorist, not in any way. Something is off about this Charlie Kirk case. There's so many things that are just weird about this case. The shooter's actions, the video footage, the gun, running across the roof, changing clothes, maybe being at Dairy Queen after, the way he wrote his text messages to his boyfriend, bits of information that have been shared out from the media, the police, the governor. I swear it does not add up. We've all seen the video footage where he runs across the roof and jumps off the building. But where is the video footage before that happens? Supposedly this school has tons and tons of 4K cameras. Where are they? Why is all of the video footage that we're watching look like it was recorded in 480p? Why is everything that we watch distorted and grainy and awful? It doesn't make sense that this guy supposedly took this shot, took the gun apart, ran across the building, jumped off, had this gun in his book bag.
Bruh, I said this. Now, I don't have the best cameras in the world, but I could see the poop on the ground from my cameras, from my dog. One of my cameras can capture the stop sign, and you can read STOP on the stop sign down the street from the house. And it's wireless. It's wireless. It's not even wired to anything. It's wireless. But I can see every tag that goes past my house. It doesn't matter how fast the car is going. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, why? You know, I was watching the news the other day, and you know how they show like the highway and show the traffic flow, and I be like, damn, they ain't upgraded them cameras yet. Those are the cameras they using. Them raggedy ass cameras that the news people be using that they installed on some damn tower 10 years ago. That's probably why they're so terrible.
If it fit in his book bag after the shooting, why didn't it fit in his book bag before the shooting? Why didn't he just go back down the stairs where he went up? Why did he jump off the building in front of cameras and people? Why didn't he just run down the stairs? That wouldn't have been odd because people were running. Where's the gun? Why did he take it across the street into the woods and put it back together and then leave it? Why didn't he just take it with him? If it was in his bag, why did he just leave it in his bag? The text messages that he sent, they make no sense whatsoever. Nobody talks like that in a text message. Certain things that he said vehicle. Nobody says that. People say I'm going back to my car, going back to my truck. Nobody says I'm going back to my vehicle. You know who says vehicle? Cops. That's who says vehicle. He kept making sure that he called this guy his lover. If you're already dating, you don't just keep saying that. It's just weird. You could go through and pick his text messages apart over and over, and they don't make sense. Another thing is, why didn't they secure the scene? It's just open. There's people walking around, students walking around filming where it happened at, and there's blood on the ground. And guys, many of y'all know me, and I am not. And you got somebody who we don't even know who it is, reaches up, takes the cameras down, takes the SD cards out, passing stuff around. Why? Who does that? That just doesn't make sense. There's camera angles as close as I am to my camera right now, filming the day it happened. Where's this footage? Did Charlie have on a vest? Why can't somebody answer that question? Part of it looks like he's wearing a vest and part of it doesn't. I can't tell. I don't know. Why can't somebody just answer that? Why haven't the police come out and said, yes, Charlie was wearing a vest or a plate, or no, he wasn't? Why did they break down where this shooting happened and completely destroy it and rebuild it the next day? There's a active crime scene. If you watch videos from that day, you see so many people standing there with their phones up, which they're recording. Where's all that footage from all these people? We have seen the same stupid, poor quality videos from day one. The school put out a statement saying that the shooter was 200 yards away from the top of a building. How did they know that? And since when does a school put out information about a shooter and exactly where he was and how far he was away? That might be the biggest red flag of all, to come out before the police, FBI, before anybody and say, the shooter was on that building 200 yards away, that's who took the shot. At every single point that our government has told us about this case is a red flag to me. Then you see, like, the next day or 2 days later, there's a trap door sitting where Charlie was at. What? First of all, was that real? Was it really a trap door? Second of all, why would you put somebody doing that on a trap door? Was it a plan? If something happened, you could get down in it? I don't know. There's no information about it. Why is a governor of a state standing up to give press conferences and not law enforcement? Another thing that doesn't make sense is we are being shown the same videos over and over and over and over. The facts that they're giving to us do not add up. You guys follow for more. You know, I put out cop stories. And why did they destroy the crime scene? Welcome to part 3. It makes absolutely no sense for anybody to be at UVU destroying that crime scene. I was a cop for many, many years, and crime scene preservation was always the most important thing when something bad like this happens. Never in my life have I ever seen a crime scene torn down and rebuilt so fast. It does not make sense. America, I know I'm not alone when I say this whole entire case, every single thing from the time that gunshot went off, if there was even a gunshot, until now, something about this case is weird. Every single aspect of it.
Do y'all understand what's being said? Like, this guy's a former private investigator, former law enforcement officer. Like, he knows his stuff. That's why we deep diving into what happened and what actual people are saying, and we're not just getting it from the stupid news, fake news media outlets. I'm using that MAGA term, fake news.
And I'm talking about the actual act itself, the people around Charlie right after it happened, the security guards, the lack of police, the oversight, tearing down the crime scene, the taking down of the cameras, taking of the SD cards, the security guards running into each other and fumbling all around like they've never done anything like this in their life. These guys are supposed to be experienced and trained, and they look like they didn't even go to the police academy. I don't know where these guys came from. I think Walmart security could have done a better job. Every single thing about this case, doctors' comments, the comments, especially from the Turning Point folks, and I don't even want to get into Erica right now because I'm going to tell you, that girl gives me the heebie-jeebies, and I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. You know, it literally went from feeling so bad for her, like I wanted to cry for her, to I can't stand to watch her now because something just feels so off about it. But this crime scene, guys, when a crime scene is there, this thing is kept. It's usually taped off with crime scene tape, and even somebody guards it because you don't want something to happen to it. They didn't even have a chance to go back the next day to look at anything. Why? The very next day they were tearing it down and rebuilding it. And from the videos that I see, they're still rebuilding it today. This is unheard of. It doesn't happen. You preserve this crime scene. They need to go back and do more investigations. They need to go back and look for other bullet fragments, maybe part of a BOMB that might have went off. Other evidence. Maybe there was other weapons laying around that somebody had. If the first shot didn't work, maybe they had a backup plan. They need to look at all of the video surveillance. They need to go back and run tests. They need to better take measurements. They have to go back and recreate the scene. They have eliminated all of those possibilities now because they have basically demolished it and have begun rebuilding it. It makes no sense. They have lost all credibility. And I'm telling you, I don't like to say this about law enforcement because I was a cop for almost 20 years, but something stinks to high heaven in this case. And we're going to keep digging and keep digging and keep digging until we find out what it is. Guys, don't let TikTok silence you. Last weekend, I posted a video, part 1, and it was taken down. It's gotten almost 1.2 million views. TikTok has taken my video down. I appealed it. I won. They have removed every single comment I made. I appealed all those comment decisions. I won all my appeals. They were supposed to put my comments back. They didn't. They put my video back, but then they removed me from the Creator Rewards program because they said I violated their rules. Didn't tell me what rule I violated, just said I violated it. I appealed that. I lost it. I'm not making money on this stuff. I'm just trying to get the truth out. Something's not right. You guys let me know in the comments if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, why you agree, why you disagree.
Do y'all agree or disagree? Let me know. I mean, put it in the comment section. Let me know.
Let me know if you feel the way I'm feeling. and just let me know your thoughts on this, because I know I'm not alone. Here's how you know the government is lying to us about what happened to Charlie. I went back and watched all of the news from September 10th. Let me tell you what I found. The timeline. The timeline is off. You know how I know it? After Charlie was assassinated, and they said Tyler ran off the building into the woods and put his gun back together and left it there on a towel. The FBI stated later that evening that the rifle that they found, this 30-06 rifle, was in fact the weapon that was used to assassinate Charlie Kirk. So the question is, how did they know that was the weapon that was used by Tyler? No ballistics had been done on the gun yet. No ballistics had been done on anything yet. No autopsy had been done yet, if there has one been done at all. Basically, all they did was they found a firearm in the woods and said this was the weapon that was used. That is freaking impossible. It's impossible. That's no different than when I was a cop. If we had a shooting on a Friday night and I was working on Sunday afternoon and somebody calls and says, hey, I found this gun on the side of the road, and I pick it up and go, oh my gosh, this was the gun that was used Friday night. There is no way to know that. It takes days or weeks for them to get this weapon and fire it and do ballistics on it to find out. Here's how you know the government is lying. If the weapon matches the round that they found, and I think that's what is so important about this doctor saying that he found this round in Charlie's neck, which I think is 100. It would have come out over here, this way. It wouldn't have went in here and then went inside and hit his spinal cord and then into his brain or his body. It does not happen that way. It does, especially a high-powered rifle. I mean, it is going to be through and through in a of a second. But this bullcrap timeline that they're giving to us, saying believe us, it's not right. It did not happen. I swear to you, it did not happen. There's no way on God's green earth that they knew the day that he was shot that the weapon they found in the woods was the murder weapon the way they described it on TV. You guys, let me hear from you in the comments. If you believe what my opinion is of this, or if you believe what the government's saying, because I'm telling you, they are feeding us a line of crap.
Hey man, I've talked to hunters that use high-powered weapons on deer, and there are times that bullets, depending on how far they are, will go through a deer's heart, through all chest cavities, and out the side sometimes. Not every time, but that's through a whole body, because most people shoot for the heart, I guess. I don't know. I'm just thinking what they would do because they want to get the bullet. And they don't want to shoot the neck because they want to preserve the head. And you talking about a neck. You know? I mean, it kind of makes sense that half his neck would be blown off being shot. Because I've seen somebody shot with a rifle. And yeah, it wasn't a pretty scene. It wasn't a clean shot. It wasn't like I've seen the actual footage and it looked like it was gruesome, but it wasn't like damn. It was like damn, but it wasn't like damn, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about.
Day and night. For some women, can start working in as early as 1 week.